proportion. And of course, yes, we have the Alliance for National Transformation. They are in purple. This is a bit constricted because that is the percentage on which he stands over 0.56%. And of course, the FDC also, when you look at our pie chart there, it is a big promising to converse over the no, that is the no proportion, but the FDC is standing at 2.08%. And of course, Mubarak Munyagwa Serunga comes in here, as you can see there, at 0.28%, as it is reflected on the pie chart, as you can see there. And of course, advancing Robert Kasivante on 0.30%, still represented there at our pie chart. And yes, to go on with the RPP flag bearer, that is Frank Bulira, standing at 0.45%, represented still on the pie chart. Each and every candidate has been represented. We have not left out any candidate. And of course, lastly, it is Joseph Mabirizi standing at 0.21% of the current votes that have been tallied at the National Tallying Center. Apparently, the number of votes that have been counted, we shall be showing them to you there later on. But of course, the polling stations are 22,758 as reported as per 9:36 p.m. And of course, it stands at 44.9%. And of course, we are going to be speaking to some of our reporters in the field to give us a feel of what is happening wherever they are situated and wherever they are reporting from. And of course, I'm with Muhammad Yiga, the one in Mbali, going to give us a snip of something that is going on there to paint a brief picture of what is happening. But yes, Mr. Yiga Muhammad, ogamba otya sebo? Olyeyo oli Mbale? Mulembe Yiga? Olizedda?
Kama huwa.
Okay, odetera kamale wabo komo. It says omulabi waffe alika CCTV mubulire oba musigire ekifaananyi kiki ekigenda mu maaso awo Mbale okuva obudde obukiro paka essaawa zino nga kikwatagana n'ebyokulonda.
Okulonda wano mu kibuga Mbale kwagaddwa okusoma nga 11 olwo ne twolekera Mbale City Chambers we babalira obululu twawindo giyita Talent Center. Wakati mu by'okwerinda eby'amaanyi obubokisi bwatuusiddwa akawungeezi okutandikira ddala ssaawa 11 bwakomekereddwa okuyingira ndowooza paka ssaawa nga zabadde 4 olw'okuba nti ebitundu ebimu byabadde nga tebituukikamu oboolyawo n'entambuza yaabo yabaddemu engeri y'akasoobo. Kakati no batandise okubala obululu buno ssaawa zabadde nga 5 n'ekitundu era nga ne wetwogerera bakyabala. Mbale okufaananako ekifaananyi kinene kiri nti erina divisions 2 omuli Industrial City Division wamu ne Northern City Division. Kati embeera ey'amaanyi ebadde nnyo mu kalulu k'abakyala era nga wano abeetenjeewo ku kuvuganya ku kifo ky'omubaka atuukirira mu kibuga Mbale omukyala kuliko Wanyoto Lydia Mutende wamu n'omukyala Koni Nakayenze Galiwango ate era nga mulimu wali Koni Nakayenze Galiwango ali ku independent ticket ate nga Lydia Wanyoto ye flag bearer ow'ekibuga wa NRM mu kuvuganya kuno. Kati mulimu omukitalo omulala ye wano yalina tiketi ya NUP bamuyita Nakayenze nga waliwo nno n'owa DP ayitibwa Pete Namono era nga akalulu okusinga okuvuganya ennyo olw'embiranye ey'amaanyi eri wakati wa Lydia Wanyoto wamu ne Koni Nakayenze Galiwango. Naye nga mu kiseera kino okusinziira ku bibalibwa ebifaayo biraga nti Lydia Wanyoto akyali mu comfortable seat oba aleebwa munne Koni Nakayenze Galiwango wadde ng'oboolyawo ne owanuku Aisha Nakayenze asobola okujja mu kifo ekyokusatu baba bagenda bagoberere. n'omukulu ayitibwa Wasuubira Anthony ono naye independent. Wambogo John Wekesa yalina flag eya NRM ku kifo kino Uganda Presidentia division ku kya MP ate waliwo ne Rashidi Walimbwa Wanuuvu naye nga waliwo n'omukyala wa FDC ayitibwa Madanda Wakuli Margaret. Okuvuganya kw'amaanyi ku obubaka alondebwa obutereevu buli wakati wa Wasuubira ne Karimu Mataba incumbent MP naye nga Karimu Mataba alabika nti ate atekungali ogeraageranya bano bonna banne baali nabo. Mu Northern City Division wali ababaka abeetumbula ku kifo ky'omubaka owa Northern City Division bawererako ddala naye nga mubo mulimu Paulo Wanyoto ono nno brother Walibya Wanyoto avuganya ebikutte abakyala ate waliwo ne Haji Umaru Nangoli ono yaliko RDC nga mbalete nafuuka kibuga newabeerawo ne State Wambede ye abadde akiikirira Northern City Division mu lukiiko lw'eggwanga olukulu ate nga mulimu ne Gasho Omutuzoomu Rabbi Wambede ono yakiikirirako ekibuga kino ekya Northern City Division mu Parliament era nga yaggibwayo State Wambede. Waliwo Ivan Mataba wano ate nga waliwo n'omulala ayitibwa Mukonde Richard ono nga naye wa independent. Kati okuvuganya okw'amaanyi mu Northern City Division mu kibuga kino eky'Embaale kuli wakati wa Haji Umaru Nangoli ali ku independent ne omukulu Ivan Mataba owano naye ne Kotu Hussein eyali RDC w'e Masaka n'akyusibwa n'azzibwa Ekkuumi nga ye RDC waayo naye abadde atadde okuvuganya okw'amaanyi naye wamuteeredde ng'ate agenda asebebwa. Kati okutwaliza wamu n'okwerinda binywezeddwamu ddala okwetooloola Tale Center emmamba zikwaniriza. Waliwo abasirikale abapaatiko abatambuza ebigere ne kabangaanyiriza poliisi zennyini zeetooloola ekibuga naddala okusalako Tale Center weeri. Kati tewali kintu kyonna kiyinza kutaataaganya kulonda. Wabaddewo okwagala okulwanagana wakati w'abawagizi ba Karimu Mataba ne omukulu John Wambogo ono yalina tiketi ya NRM naye ab'ebyokwerinda banyingidde mu Tale Center era ne bakkakkanya embeera okubala obululu ne kuddamu naye nga kubadde kwesibyemuuko ekiwaliriza omukulu Anthony watuukira ali ku independent ticket okuwalampa emmeeza owulidde asobole okubeera nti obaoliawo eddoboozi lye liwulirwa naye DPP n'abakuumaddembe bayingidde mu Tale Center tebabeera nga embeera bagikkakkanya okulonda mu kibuga Mbaale. Akalulu tekannamanya oba kanaalangirirwa ddi kubanga kumpi okuva ekiro kwonna babala akalulu ka President ne badda ku k'omubaka alondebwa obutereevu ne badda ku k'omubaka omukyala naye nga Mbaale erina abatwalibyo bawererako ddala kumpi ku buli kifo naye ng'ovuddeko ne mu kibuga Mbaale ntunuddeko kosaidi y'Ebulambuli wali Ebulambuli kumpi okulonda kuwulidde era balangiridde abawanguzi nga ku kifo ky'omubaka omukyala akiikira disitulikiti ey'Ebulambuli Sarah Namboozo Weekomba yalangiriddwa ng'ono abadde avuganya ne Patience Namboozo waliwo n'omukyala omulala ategerekeddeko erya Jacqueline naye ng'ate mu Elgon County disitulikiti ey'Ebulambuli Nyansi Omudiimi wa Makuyu ono yabadde nkambe mu kikolebwanga olukulu awanguddemu ne Master Mose ate nga Elgon County Elgon North era mu ngeri y'emu mu Bulambuli omubaka Engineer Irene Moroni awanguddwa Gerald Nangoli. Kati ate era mu ngeri y'emu Aten Bulambuli County wabaddeyo omukulu ayitibwa Biara Emmanuel ono nga yabadde ne tiketi eya NRM era awanguddemu ne Alex Burundo ono yakiikirirako essaza lino era mu lukiiko lw'eggwanga olukulu. Bwe tugenda ku Saibuleni e Manapa waliwo omukyala abadde ayitibwa Musubika Anet ono awanguddwa omukyala mukulu mu myaka ayitibwa Rose Mutonyi yaliyoko mu lukiiko lw'eggwanga olukulu naye era n'avaayo kakati Rose Mutonyi azzeeyo era ku tiketi eya NRM. Tujja kwongera obatuusaako ebipasa eno mu ttendobendo lya Bukisu naye ng'ate Sonko bategezezzaako omukyala Aisha Nabulubakadi Lumoro alabika nga akyaleeta munne oba minisita Florence Wamala Naboto mu kalulu k'omubaka omukyala akiikirira disitulikiti eyo. Ebirala ebisingakaawo tutaabikuŋŋaanya eggwako nga waliwo ky'obuuza
eyiganga tondaba kubanga nzirukako njagala onsiigire embeera nga bweri wabweru we bali mu kubanga ate babalira obululu abantu beetooloddewo bangi oba abasecurity be basize okuba nga babeera mu kifo ekyo.
Ekifaananyi ekiri mu Presidentia ekisookera ddala abantu baabali mitinze batono nnyo. Buli kandidate yaweereddwa abantu babiri okuyingira nabo bannamawulire ffe tusingamu obungi then ab'ebyokulonda baabawudde bali wagguluko eri gye bakolera emirimu gyabwe. Kakati ebweru abakuumaddembe be basinga obungi mulimu poliisi mulimu UPDF wamu n'abambadde engoye eza bulijjo. Wabula walabiteeko abatunuulidde b'ebyokulonda oyinza okubayita ba observers abamu balabika nga babadde bava mu nsi za Bulaaya bayingiddewo kaawo. Naye ate ndowooza ekifaananyi kye bafunye we bajjidde wewabalukiddewo akanyoolagano nga akampu oba enkambi eyakalimu Masaba n'eya Wasukira n'eya John Wekesa Wambugo baagala okukwagana Malaka. Ate ndowooza booti ekifaananyi kye bafunye bayingiridde we Presidentia kukulaalagana ne kubalukawooko naye oluvannyuma ne kukakanyizibwa abakuumaddembe. Mbale City Chambers oba Mbale State Council yeetooloddwa bbugwe oba ekikomera nga terina geeti bbiri, geeti emu yokka ng'eyingiza oba n'okufulumya abayingira. Ebweru emmamba zeetooloddewo. Jjukira nti Mbale City Chambers eriraanye regional block awakuŋŋaanira ebyokwerinda. Kaakati saidi eri wali regional block abakuumaddembe bangi emmotoka gye ziri ne wano okwetooloola Mbale City Council era nawo weebali ate nga waliwo n'ekkubo okutuuka cricket ground okukkira ku Tolo Road nayo lyasaliddwako jjo teriyisa mmotoka era baalisazeeko abantu tebali kuludda okufaananako ne bulijjo. Baatadde emizindaalo ebweru. Kakati abantu abasinga obungi tebabakkiriza mu Presidentia bano batunuuli bano banjagala kubeera nga mmanyi ekifo eno n'ebweru ku kikomera ekya Mbale City Chambers nayo baataddeyo emizindaalo eminene n'abali obutuuka kkubo nabo basobola okuwulira ebirangirirwa mu Presidentia.
Yiga oyogeddeko n'abakulu ab'akakiiko ak'ebyokulonda abali eyo nsonga ki gye bawa okubanga n'okutuusa kati nti okubanga tubala oba babala obululu bwa presidential candidate tekunaba kubanga kubaako we kwatuuse.
Tugezezaako okwogerako nabo naddala lwaki kuba batugambye nti waliwo obubokisi obwazzenga ekikeerezi. Bayize waliwo n'ebimu ku DRFO ezireetedda almost ssaawa zibadde 12 ng'abamu ku bakozi omukyalo omu agamba nti yazzeerabidde n'abaana be yabadde akola nabo ezo bazitese ssaawa 12 n'ekitundu. Era wabaddewo akanyoolagano nga enkambi zonna tezaagala bino biyingizibwe kuba buli omu abadde tamanyi bino gwe babireeta biyambaani era nga bamubaga nti baagala kutuuka bululu waffe. Enkambi zonna nga buli omu alwanyi mangu ne basobola okubeera nti bakkaanya ku bintu bino ebibadde bireeteddwa omuli DRFO zibadde ziwerera ddala oba zibadde nga 10 naye nga zeetaagibwa naye ate nga tezaatuuse mu budde. Waliwo n'omukutu bwayingidde mu soolesole ekyo akakiiko k'ebyokulonda tebatwadde ansa nambulukufu. Lwaki? Kubanga akawungeezi twabaddeko kakiiko ako ku Electoral Commission nga bali mu kulagira emmotoka zigende zitandike okugyayo obubokisi. Naye ate waliwo obuyingidde mu ngeri y'omusoolesole okula enkambi zombi obwedda buli oludda lutulwekkaanya n'okutunula obutiribiri okulaba nti wali kiddamu kuyingizibwa mu ngeri ekontana n'amateeka. So embeera bwekyo bwekyali wano mu kibuga Mbale oba olyawo n'ebitundu ebiriraanyeewo.
tweyanziza nnyo omusasi waffe Muhammad Yiga. Of course, he was giving us what is happening in Mbale city. It comprises industrial city and the northern city. He says counting of the ballots started at around 11:30 p.m. That was yesterday, saying it was attributed to the delay in bringing in the votes and the ballot papers. And of course, they also had some hurdles in transporting the ballot papers from the sub-county to the district tally center. But of course, he gave us analysis of who has been elected in some of the constituents that have been announced their results of voting. And of course, for the industrial city, the woman representative to parliament, it is Wanyoto Lydia. So far, she is in the lead, and she is the flag bearer for the National Resistance Movement. But the tight race is between her and Connie Galwango, who is an independent, and the flag bearer for NUP, that is peace, that is Aisha Nakayenze, comes in third. And of course, the direct member of parliament, the race is between the incumbent, that is Karim Masaba, who is an independent candidate, and also Wasukira Anthony, who is an independent. The NRM flag bearer there is Wambogo John, and the National Unity Platform flag bearer is Rashid Wanchumba. But we are anticipating to have a one-on-one with the Electoral Commission Chairman, that is Justice Biabakama, with one of our reporters in just a few minutes. And of course, yes, still more from Mbale City. We do have the northern city. There is Paulo Wanyoto as a contestant, and of course, Haji Womaro Nangobi as an independent. And yes, of course, there is also the Seth Wambede, Rabbi Wambede, and Ivan Masaba, the flag bearer for National Unity Platform, and also Hood Hussein. But the hot race is between Ivan Masaba, the National Unity Platform flag bearer, and also yes, Haji Womaro Nangobi. But of course, let's speak to Semambo to say what is happening over there. Semambo, jabale konsebo. Oli life ku UBC tulire ekifomoli atera nemberanga bwetambula.
Emberanga bayimiridde mu kitundu kya Wakiso, kino ekitebe naddala ekitebe ekikulu, bwenjogedda buno obudde abasirikale ne security eri very tight, era okuyingira okuaccessinga ekifo kino ekya tally center kikubeerera ddala kizibu nnyo nyini ddala omala okulaga mpapula zikukkiriza okuba ng'oyingira ekifo kino eno.
Okay, so you pardon me, but can we use English for the biggest portion of our viewers?
Okay, as I said earlier, that the place is very calm and it is very restricted, whereby one to access it, they have to be authorized, and then you have to have a letter from the returning officer to access the area. So inside the tally center, so far one member of parliament has been confirmed, and that is the NRM Moses Mayanja, who has snatched victory for Busiro North. Kagwa Swaibo Sereko of Jema Party received around 179 votes. Kasita Hussein Kenya, an independent, got 1,919 votes, and Kato Damiana, an independent, 263. PFF's Senkungu Moses also snatched 112 votes, and Semaganda Ronald, who was in a tight race with Moses Mayanja, received votes of 14,667 votes. So far, those who expect, we are expecting to listen from the returning officer to see more positions that will be declared, or more candidates who will be declared victors, and those we expect is Nupos Mwadankunyi of Chadondo East. I've seen around Zambale Blasio Mukasa is also around, and Magola. So other candidates who were competing with them have not been at the tally center. Maybe by the time you come at the tally center, you have a snatch on what is happening and what you expect. So these people who are around, maybe they expect themselves to be victors by the end of the day.
Okay, so what is the environment like when it comes to security deployment, since you've talked about some people being restricted from accessing the venue?
Yeah, not even all journalists are allowed to enter the tally center, as I told you, whereby you have to have received a letter from the returning officer to allow you to enter. Heavy deployment of men in uniform is also seen at the gate and the roads that lead you to the headquarters of Wakiso district.
Okay, if we look at Nansana municipality between Zambali, Blasio, Mokasa, who else is tightly competing with him?
Right now, what the system that the Wakiso district is using, they declare region per region. So they began with
constituency.
Yeah, constituency. Constituency per constituency. So they began with Usiro North. So anytime we expect the returning officer to declare another person in a few hours. But as of now, I've seen Blasio Mukasa as a So those who think that they are here to get our official declarations are so far the ones around, and their opponents, none of them is around.
Okay, thank you so much, Asemabo Joshua. We shall be getting back to you in a short. But as of now, let's have a one-on-one with the EC Chairman, Justice Byabakama, with our reporter.
Yes, a very good afternoon to you, Tunde. It is still morning. Good morning to you, Tunde, and TBC TV once again. We are still coming to you live from Lubowa, Sabagabo Machindie, where the Electoral Commission has mounted the tally center for the 2026 presidential elections, which is, as well, as far as I'm informed, their new home that they're trying to set up, and with time they will permanently be here. Now, we have a chance to talk to the man himself, the man in charge of the whole season, the electoral process 2026, that is Justice Byabakama Mugenyi Simon. That is the order of the name I've come to discover. My Lord, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Welcome here to UBC.
Yes.
Welcome to the National Tally Center, Kiambago. I mean, I'm seeing 2021.
Okay. How has been the process, in your view, since campaigns to date?
Oh, I think the process has been, of course, campaigns had a little, the usual. But overall, the campaigns went on well. The presidential candidates were able to cover the areas they wanted to cover, and quite successfully in my view, and thankfully we don't have major incidents like we had in 2020 when so many people died. I want to commend the people, and yesterday of course people went for polling at the 50,739 polling stations where they were able to cast the votes for the president, woman member of parliament, directly elected member of parliament. And I want to say this process went well, although there were glitches in the morning on account of the biometric voter verification kits, which developed issues in some areas. In other polling stations, they worked well, but in other areas they didn't. But we were able to switch immediately to the using the manual register, and people voted. And that's why today we are here to receive the results.
Two things. There was concern about the unprecedented disqualification and denomination of candidates. How did this happen? And the biggest question is, you, Electoral Commission, denominating people you nominated. How did you discover your mistakes after making them?
No, the mistakes were not, first of all, the mistakes were not by the Electoral Commission. They were by the candidates. Yes, because you see...
You approve my papers.
Yes.
How do you again discover that they have a problem?
Now, let me tell you, Jordan. First of all, the law provides that after nomination, your papers can be scrutinized by any voter or your opponent in the rest after nomination. The voter or your opponent is at liberty to scrutinize your papers, inspect them, and if there are issues he or she discovers in your papers, that person has a right to complain to the Electoral Commission. It is in the law. If the lawmakers that intended that once the candidate has been nominated, whatever mistakes are there, they should not be looked into or they should not be raised, they should have said that. But the mere fact that the law recognized that even when someone has been nominated, the nomination can still be challenged in law. And the challenge can be raised with the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission will see it as a quasi-judicial body. Entertain the complaint, look into the merits of the matter. If it finds that there was no merit, dismiss the complaint. If it finds there was a merit, then we take the necessary steps as recommended in the law.
How can voters have the capacity to detect these gaps in candidates' papers, and you, the Electoral Commission, these papers pass your stages and they go to the next level of nomination?
First of all, let me tell you that we have 2 days for nomination, and we have tens of candidates coming in for nomination in those 2 days. Our team that verifies the papers, the nomination, the national papers of these candidates, they are in most cases overworked. They have to catch up with the time. At times they nominate people beyond 9 o'clock, even beyond midnight. So there are occasions therefore when, yes, that's why even in the courts of law, by the way, a judge will hear a case, but then you have a right to appeal against the decision of that judge. It goes to another court, and the court will overturn what the other judge decided. Will you say, how can you, the same courts, be the ones now to overturn what your fellow judge has decided? So that is the process of the rule of law, and that's what the process of due process means. That's what due process means. So, secondly, indeed, the nominations we carried out were in accordance with the law. Let me give you an instance. If the law says for you to qualify to get nominated, you must have a minimum academic qualification of A level or its equivalent. You present your certificates or your academic qualifications. Someone says, but no. Jordan, when did he attain the A level? We started with him. He stopped in O level. I question the credibility or the correctness of that academic qualification. Yes, said you come to the commission. The commission will interrogate the matter. If we find indeed that you do not have the necessary academic qualification, the law says we disqualify you. So the disqualifications that were carried out were in line with the law. And by the way, Jordan, you know, we had, I think, about 400 petitions. How many disqualifications have we done? They're about less than 50. Yeah, less than 15 or 20, even to my recollection. Then secondly, how many have we, if we had allowed therefore all the 400, it means more than 300 people to win school. Many of them.
Clarify about the issue of unopposed, because there are also many this time in the history of the election.
You know what, Jordan?
Yes.
Ugandans have become more vigilant now. People have become more vigilant to scrutinize the credibility and the validity of the papers of the candidates who have gotten nominated.
Someone can
the bar has gone out now. Has gone up now. For example, people are quoting the case of Makindi, the mayorship of who about the school fight. The person who complained said, I have looked at the papers of all my opponents. They have issues. They have not complied with the law on the terms of numbers of supporters they're supposed to get from each electoral area. Just looking at the papers of the candidates. When the commission invited them and they came with their lawyers, we studied their papers. We scrutinized them, we analyzed them. Indeed, we realized or discovered there were issues. There were issues, they know, and we did not look at any other evidence apart from the nomination papers filled by each of these candidates, and we said, here the law says each of your supporters must sign against his or her name. If they don't sign, it means they do not consent to your. It's in the law, your candidature. It says, and the law says, the supporters must be from that particular electoral area. If you are getting supporters from Salama A electoral area, the 20 must be from that Salama A. Don't get supporters from Salama B and put them in the list of Salama A. If you do, and we find out we cancel those ones from Salama A, then you'll be below the quota.
Some people thought there was an element of biasness. Let's clarify that quickly.
Which bias? I have said we looked purely at the nomination papers of each of those candidates. Nothing else. Not on the papers of the petitioner, not on any other record, but the papers of the petitioner vis-a-vis our national voters register. Because the first thing we have to ascertain, Jordan Lukomwa, yes, who is a supporter, is he a registered voter or not? Because the law says the supporters must be registered voters and they must be from the particular electoral area which you say you are getting supporters from. So I want to tell the people, and I want to affirm, we had no bias at all. We followed the law, and if anybody is not satisfied, go to the courts of law. But now the courts of law seem to be agreeing with us.
We leave that one. The biometrics, what really happened? Briefly before.
Yeah, the biometrics, and unfortunately, the biometrics worked.
People think you did not practice how to use them. They're blaming you of a lot of things. But
we did. Of course, human beings will always blame others. That is normal. But we did a lot of preparations. We practiced. We trained our people who are going to use those biometrics, and that's why in some areas they worked. It's not that there was a total blackout or failure of the biometric machines in all the polling stations. In some areas they worked perfectly well. In others they did not. So it is our interest as a commission. But you see, at this point in time, particularly yesterday, we had to make a quick decision. What is paramount? Is it to ascertain or establish what could have gone wrong with the machines, or to give credence, to afford the power of the people of Uganda under Article 1 priority, so that the people go to vote? And we say that thing that is sacrosanct, that is supreme. It cannot be watered down by the fact that the machines have broken. No, that power cannot be watered down by anything else. So we said, since the National Voters Register is available at every polling station, since the ballot papers are available, and all these other materials required for polling,
verify the names with the register.
Verify the names with the register. It is provided for in the Constitution, in the Presidential Elections Act, Parliamentary Elections Act, and Local Government Elections Act. We say, and in any case, Jordan, yes, the data that is on those kits is derived from the National Voters Register.
So it's the same thing.
It is the same thing. It is the foundation. Yeah, the foundation. By the way, the kit was merely meant to assist, to aid in the identification and verification of a voter. It was to assist. What does it mean? You are assisting is a basic thing. Now, the basic thing is the manual register. This kit was merely to fasten or to quicken the process of identifying a voter. If you come with a VLS or your national ID, it has a barcode on the machine, go. But now they have to go to the register, look for Kumwa's name. But we said whatever we did yesterday was in line with the law 100%.
You need to teach this again, briefly. Yeah. How do you receive results here from the district? I've voted in the village before. From the polling station, they are read on the bike to the sub-county, from the sub-county now to the district. How do they get here?
Yes, the results received here come from the district centers. They do not come directly from the polling stations. The polling station delivers to the district center
Through the sub-county.
through the sub-county. The sub-county is just a collection point. These boxes are gathered at the sub-county. No business, no activity.
Last time,
Absolutely.
we need more.
No activity, no business takes place at the sub-county apart from collecting these boxes which contain the materials. From there, they are placed on vehicles and conveyed to district. It is the district at the district center where they are opened. The tamper-proof envelope carrying the results, the DR form, is opened by the returning officer. He then tallies these results, puts them on the system, loads them on the system, and then transmits electronically to the national tally center here. So the results we are receiving from the districts are being electronically transmitted. That's why you are not seeing vehicles or staff from up country coming in and out, delivering results. Enough to live akabi. What the internet bagigaddewo, never to sort of damage to chakora, never to live on you.
People may have, I think, thought that you would say, this is from down PG. Justice Biabakama has gotten 3. Lukomo has gotten 3.
Yeah, I've had that concern.
Yes.
I've had that concern being expressed here. That, but they are not showing us where they come from. I'm in touch with my IT people. We are not here to hide anything. Good. We are not at this location to hide anything. We want the people of Uganda to know, want the candidates to know what is being streamed in, what is coming in. We are going to look at that, and I promise, I hope by 2 p.m. when we come back to this session, we are going to see how to manage that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jordan.
Katamba on Star TV is telling me that we will give a brief in Uganda. Straight questions. Campaigns in Presidentia.
Campaigns okutwalawamu ba Star TV mbalamusiza nnyo zitambudde bulungi weewaawaddewo obuntu butonotono naye okutwalirawamu tewaddewo okuliwa kwa musaayi nga bwe twalaba mu mwaka mu 2020 abakandidates basobodde okutuuka webalina okutuuka abantu okutwala bannayuganda balaze ekifaananyi ekirungi mwebale nnyo mwebale ddala olunaku lwajjo twabadde mukulonda ebifo byonna ebironderwamu emitwalo 5,739 byaguddwawo ebirondeswa ebyokulondesa ne bituukayo netubiteekayo abantu ne basobola okulonda naye okuba nti jjo twafunyemu obutaataaganyizibwa mu kubuuma baffe ebifo bimu bwakoze ebirala tebwakoze naye egyo netugamba nti kakati tuyimiriza okulonda olwokuba nti obuuma tebukoze netugamba nti nedda obuyinza bw'abantu buli mu ssemateeka bulina okutuukirizibwa naye kino tugamba nti tukozese regisita eziri ku buli polling station buli mulonzi waali omulonzi watuuka ku polling station akakasibwe amanyirwe ng'akasinziira ku regisita nga njagala kuweereza abannayuganda bonna gy'omwalaze ekifaananyi twabaze n'abagenyi bangi abuzaabazi bavudde bweru naye ndowooza beewuunyiza ne bantu bannayuganda ndowooza bantu bankiso kubanga bagunju.
Is Michael Jordan Lukoma, yes, having a one-on-one with electoral chairman, that is Justice Biabakama. And of course, coming in just now, Bukweri County results. Now the presiding officer there, that is Michael Ogutu, has announced the winner there. And of course, Sadela Wandera, who is the NRM flag bearer there, won with 24,624 votes, while an independent candidate there, Abdul Kantutu, has lost with 1,752 votes. Of course, Abdul Kantutu, for those of you who remember him, he was once in the Forum for Democratic Change, and of course, he came as an independent at this time, and he was once chairman of the COSASE. He's been very vocal in matters concerning accountability security, and of course, government expenditure. So that is it that has just come in right now in regards to the provisional results that we are receiving here on UBC. We are UBC UG Polls 2026, giving you the results as they come through, and specifically from the National Tally Center there in Lubowa Reza. And of course, we are waiting for the presidential final results that only take 48 hours by law to be announced. And of course, there are also other results that we are still waiting for from other polling stations, so that we have the entire information concerning the elections. And of course, yes, Justice Byabakama mentioned something that caught my mind as people try to complain about the registered candidates, and he said it was within the law and within their mandate, and that it was the mistake of those candidates, not the Electoral Commission mistake, because they are the ones that submitted these documents that did not meet some of the requirements to be nominated, and their being deregistered came as an aftermath of having scrutinized the documents that they submitted. And of course, we are also looking forward to give you an insight of the local government elections after the presidential and member of parliament results, of course, are given to us by the Electoral Commission. There in Remiaga, of course, tallying is still going on, and of course, in Michana Asela, there is also tallying that is still going on. And of course, Julie is going to come up with some other reasons. We are giving you UG Polls 2026.
It's the UBC Uganda Polls 2026. Welcome back from that session with Joan Murungi, and of course that immense interview with the EC chairperson, Justice Simon Byabakama, who has cited very interesting nuggets there. First and foremost, it's not the EC to blame for those who are denominated and disqualified from the race. It's rather the candidates that are to blame. And of course, he also did highlight on the BVV case that it was in the mandate of the Electoral Commission by law for the Electoral Commission to switch immediately to Ugandans using voter registers in the manual manner, to make that quick decision so that Ugandans are not denied their opportunity to vote, as was the issues with the BVV case. Now, let's look at a bit of a summary in regards to what statistics are coming through, especially with members of parliament. And right there, let's start off from Chiboga West County. Looking at the pie chart, as you can see, I hope it gets clearer. As you can see, indeed, it's all yellow for the most half and a quarter of the pie chart. Looking at Lule area Eric NRM, who has garnered 9,235 votes, gathering 61.25% of the votes. But of course, the independent has covered the other half of the pie chart, and Mutumba Abdul on the independent ticket takes 5,842 votes at 38.75% of the percentages. Looking at some, if you look at Frank Pigahabu on the independent ticket, right here, he is at 0%. The same applies to Nachanzi Grace Kakoza of NUP, who also has 0%. Sabina Daniel, independent, 0%. And Simbwa Ben on the FDC ticket as well gets a 0%. Now, looking at Ntungamo district, as you can see, interestingly, it's a whole independent that is actually dominating the NRM side. Quite a lot of conversation here, if you ask me. But looking at the statistics, Karuhanga Gerald Kafureka on the independent ticket with 3,967 votes, getting to a 58.42%. And looking at the side of the NRM, Musinguzi Yona, representing NRM, garnered 41.5%, 41.58% of the votes with 2,824. Ntungamo districts, a whole chart of the independent dominating right there. And of course, Biendeza Edward on the independent ticket is at 0%. Same applies to Rubahamya Magambo of the new ticket at 0%. Looking at Busiro County North, one of the hotly contested areas, as you can see, NRM and NUP were really at loggerheads onto each other. But as you can see, NRM took the most part of the pie chart, slightly ahead of NUP. And as you can see, Mayanja Moses on the NRM ticket garnered 19,319 votes. And by the way, earlier on, I did mention that he contested for the same parliamentary seat in 2021. Unfortunately, I've got my facts right. He contested for LC5 chairperson in 2021 and he lost that seat. But this time round in 2026, Manager Moses came back for the seat of direct MP in Busiro North County. And as you can see, he is the merging and has been already declared, by the way, by the Electoral Commission District Tally Center, that he is the winner. From there, winning the NUP candidate, Semaganda Ronald, who garnered 14,667 votes, as you can see, with a percentage of 43.16%. Other candidates to look at, well, we do have Mujisha Charles Katongole, who is of DF with 0%, Subuga Frank, independent at 0%, Senkungu Moses as well, representing PFF at 0% as well, Sechikubo Ashraf of independent at 0%, Kato Damiano, independent 0%, Kasta Hussein Bukenya, independent at 0%, Kagwa Swaib Sereko Jema at 0%, Sentongo Emmanuel Pius, independent as well at 0%, and Tevaneke John Bosco, independent as well at 0%. So it's safe to say that independent altogether featured nowhere mostly, but it was NRM and NUP, and as you can see, NRM took the lion's share there. Now, looking at Kakumiro, woman member of parliament, let's look at the pie chart. As you can see, it's all yellow for the most part of the pie. If it's a pizza plate, well, you can see that the independent side is taking a very small slice of the pizza share, and the rest of it is eaten by the NRM candidate, and that is Nabanja Robina. NRM with 78,533 votes, representing 78.01% of the votes. As you can see, the independent side had two candidates, Tushemereire Grace, who garnered 22,136 votes and getting to 21.99% of the votes, and Tibulihwa Harriet on independent, who got a 0% on there. Looking at Kinkizi County East, as you can see what the pie chart looks like here. Kinkizi, we do see yellow dominating there. Getting back to Kinkizi West, we do see yellow dominating almost that big half, but still there was a tight race with the independent. As you can see, Chris Bariomusi on the NRM ticket got 23,830 votes, and that is at 52.35%. And looking at the bigger part of the independent ticket that was carried by Arinitwe Sam Kajojo, who was on the independent ticket at 20,737 votes, carrying 45.56% of the percentage of the pie chart. And there was, of course, another independent ticket there. That is Newamanya Benedicto of the PFF party, who indeed got 65 votes, carrying a 0.14%. We did have Naturinda Agre independent carrying a 0%, and Karunji Ruth Tukahirwa carrying 731 votes, carrying 1.61%. Looking at a packed municipality, as you can see, independent all over the place. Just a small slice of, probably two slices, if it's a pizza plate, two slices for the NRM, and the rest of the slices go to the independent ticket. Ochan Patrick garnered 9,138 votes, getting to a percentage of 72.09%. And of course, Nechon Isaac Emma Odong, NRM, gets to 3,538 votes with a 27.91%. And Akora Maxwell Ebong of the UPC party gets to 0%. Now, finally, let's look at Maruzi County and see what is on there from Maruzi County. Excuse me. Maruzi County, as you can see, Opeto Moses of the NRM party garnered 10,488 votes, getting to a 45.78% there, and then getting to UPC that covers this whole area. Obong Peter Achuda, UPC, 12,421 votes with a 54.22% on there. So UBC covers Maruzi County, as we had earlier on reported. Now let's get a bit of detail from Kakumiro Woman Member of Parliament and Kinkizi County East. These are areas of interest. Getting to Kakumiro a Member of Parliament, as you can see, the Right Honorable Minister, Prime Minister of Uganda, Nabanja Robina, who Ugandans give many names. For example, Majegere. She comes back winning and leading under the NRM ticket, 78% there with 78,533 votes. If you watched her footage yesterday as she cast her own vote, other other ballots that she took, she did take, she voted right from the basin. And when it came to her own vote, she rightly voted out of the basin and showed all cameras that she has voted.
He's got the highway in his blood. He was born to run, born to run. Red Bull gives you wings.
Now let's see what Kinkizi looks like. That is Kinkizi County East. Kinkizi County East is where Baryomusi, Honorable Chris Baryomusi represents the NRM party. As you can see, with 52%, 23,830 votes, leading there, and that is against Adinaitwe Sam Kajojo, who is of independent ticket on the independent ticket with 20,737 votes at a percentage of 46%. That's a summary right there, but of course the results keep on coming. And as UBC TV, we are here to make sure that you get all the results. The team is jam-packed, the team is ready. UBC Uganda goes to the polls 2026. So stay tuned to UBC TV. And of course, up next is the rest of the team as they come through with more of the results.
name is Amanya Belinda. Allow me remind us that elections come and go. They are periodic. Every after 5 years, we have another set of election. But what remains is the fact that we are Ugandans and we are not changing that fact. So in this coming 2026 elections, may we remember that what unites us is the blood that runs through our blood vessels. So go vote whoever represents your aspirations, your views, your beliefs, and feel free to vote them respectfully and without any form of violence. I wish you all a great and deliberate election come this election season.
This campaign is proudly organized by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy and partners with support from the European Union. Tuongeye, let's talk peace. Let's talk peace.
We are into the political season. The atmosphere is highly charged. There is a lot of excitement everywhere you look. But elections come and go. We all remain the same people staying in this one country. We must prioritize peace. We do not want to witness violence. No one should be throwing stones. No one should be using inciting language or abusing others. No one should use a stick against a fellow citizen. No one should use bullets or even tear gas against citizens. Instead, we should sit as brothers and sisters, as Ugandans, and discuss issues that may appear different, one camp from the other. I look forward to seeing an NRM supporter sitting with an NUP supporter and taking coffee. I want to see somebody from Arua sitting down for a cup of coffee with someone from Bugisu, from Chigezi, from Buganda. Let's learn to tolerate each other, even when we have differences between us, because that's how we are created. We are not the same. What we should appreciate is that we can all live together. Uganda is big enough for everyone. So we should respect one another. We should not incite violence. We should not in any way participate in anything that breaches the peace. That's my call to all Ugandans during this season.
This campaign is proudly organized by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy and partners with support from the European Union. Tuongeye, let's talk peace. Let's talk peace.
As we approach the general elections in our country, the Republic of Uganda, this is a call to all the young people. The most important thing for all of us is to ensure that we keep our country peaceful. Definitely, you have the right to vote for whoever you want to vote for, but as young people, we think we have a very, very
Let's Stop Peace nk'uko najimanya iti ni initiate yo kwasa kwebembera abantu ombwero butiriyo ntuzamo tayo yana hagera ekibine cyo kwagira mureke kunkazeho tera karuru dene kintu kitambure byo misho
nyowe ninjira nti okufuna obusinjana n'emirembwe twaruka omukaruru nari kitwaza mukutera karuraka leka tugende n'omu ebembezi owo turafune tutagire mu kuyomba no kugwanangana.
Wherever you may be, Uganda, talk peace. 256. Let's talk peace.
Wherever you go, my sister, my bro, let this be with you.
This campaign is proudly organized by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy and Partners with support from the European Union. Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
Let's talk peace.
Dear people of Masaka, elections must never divide us, but instead strengthen our shared vision of building a promising future for our motherland. Our call to you, dear brothers and sisters: 1. Always pray for peace.
Emirembe ekiseera kino byobufuzi nti abantu bali mu bibira ebyenjawulo oyinza okusiŋŋaana omuntu omu awagira kirala awagira kirala naye obuzibu we buli nti awagira kyotawagira olowooza nti mulabe naye ye bwategeera naawe bw'otegeera.
Yes. So tubasaba tubeere ba mpisa tubeere ba mirembe.
Let Greater Masaka, from the trading centers to the villages, be a place of dialogue, not chaos.
This campaign is proudly organized by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy and Partners with support from the European Union. Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
A very good afternoon and welcome to the UG polls or UBC UG polls as we bring you updates from across the country. In this case, the voting is done. Right now, every hour, minute, and second is crucial. And as promised, UBC will be bringing you those updates as they come, the provisional results, and much, much more. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto, and today I am with my colleague as well.
Ryan Bierohanga.
Right, it has been a roller coaster of emotions, mostly when it comes to the provisional results that we have been receiving from the EC. They have been, shouts of joy and jubilation, while others have been having tears and dismay. But nonetheless, you Ugandans voted, and we are here to present to you all the provisional results as they come. All right, we start off with the updates from the Electoral Commission. Take a look. have seen on your screen, that has been the update on the current results or provisional results. And we must remind you, those are provisional results. Those are not the final results. The final results will be announced tomorrow and still by the Electoral Commission. Now, in Kakumiro District, the Right Honorable Robina Nabanja has been declared winner of the parliamentary race, retaining her seat as a woman member of parliament. The Electoral Commission confirmed the results after tallying votes at the district center. Now, her victory in Kakumiro underscores her continued popularity and strong support among residents as she balances her role as Prime Minister with her responsibilities in Parliament.
Candidates Nabanja Robina, Tibulihwa Harriet, and Tushenere Grace. Nabanja Robina of the NRM party garnered 78,533. Tibulihwa Harriet, who was an independent candidate, garnered 3,627. Tushenere Grace, also an independent, garnered 22,132. Therefore, and accordingly, as the returning officer of Kakumiro Electoral District, in accordance with the Parliamentary Elections Act, I hereby declare Nabanja Robina, who obtained the largest number of votes, congratulations, and here is evidence of your victory. Organic. Tebuliko fertilizer, tebuliko chi. Abantu bamumpadde nga baagala ate nga sina budde bwa campaign. Museveni oye! Museveni du! Abandi bona kini!
Indeed, as you have seen on your screen, the excitement of course, Right Honorable Robina Nabanja after being declared winner of the Women MP seat of Kakumiro District. Now, if we can just get into the chart and looking at the Kakumiro Member of Parliament seat, well, as you can see on your screen, the results are pretty obvious. Yes, we do see Robina Nabanja taking on the lion's share with 78% percentage. That is for the NRM party, and that is a total vote of 78,533. Now, looking at some of her opponents, we do see Tushemerere Grace coming in with 22% of the vote, and with a total number of votes of 22,136. Indeed, you can see from the charts, definitely it was an obvious win for her. Brian, she is a very phenomenal woman, very strong woman, and very courageous as well. She has juggled so much, and I know that definitely, giving her another chance at leading the people of Kakumiro was a good choice, I would say.
You look at Nabanja. Nabanja is the first woman to hold the office of the Prime Minister since independence. She has served in Parliament since 2011, representing Kibale District and later Kakumiro District, following the district's creation. Now a seasoned politician who is Nabanja there for you. She has been the State Minister for Health. Then she's also known for championing the community development. So Nabanja bouncing back as the woman representative of Kakumiro district is not really a shock to so many.
Indeed, I mean, her bag is full. I mean, she has had lots of experience, and definitely with the highlights that you've given us and some of the things that she has, done over the years. 2011 is not very far away. I mean, it's a lot of years indeed, and I would say that she has more to do in the next 5 years for the people of Kakumiro.
Indeed, she has championed the women empowerment service delivery across the constituencies, and now her victory in Kakumiro really underscores the popularity and the strong support among the residents as she balances her role as the Prime Minister with her responsibilities in Parliament. Now, as a tallying goes on in different parts of the country, we ably have some winners in different regions. These are provisional results. Now, these include the Prime Minister, of course, Robin Anabanja. There for you, the Information Minister, that is Chris Baryomunsi, and then the Minister of Health, that is Jen Ruth Acheng, then Sanjay Tana in Tororo, among others. UBC News, UBC UG polls. Now we are joining some of our foot soldiers who are in the field to bring us some of the provisional results that are in different places of the country. We are joining Sando Martin, who is for us there in Busia. Sando Martin, are you there online?
Yes, brother, I'm on.
Yes. What is the latest update that is happening in Busia?
Thank you very much to our listeners. This is Sando Martin with Busia District at Busia District Headquarters, Macho Hall, where the tallying of the voters is going on. Giving a brief, Busia District has 4 constituencies, including 1 municipality, with the registered number of the voters of 208,529 voters. As per now, according to the preliminaries, we are in Samia Bugwe North. Samia Bugwe North had 7 candidates. The number of registered voters had 73,840 registered voters with 7 candidates. Among these includes Mulimba John, NRM flag bearer, the incumbent, Wandera John Paul, Amama Vincent, Pade Gerald Auku, Okumu John Emrup, Mulaitis Deborah, and the Deogracias Joki Hasubi. Now, according to the results which have been just concluded by the returning officer, Madam Aduro Joan, she has declared Wandera John Paul independent as the duly elected member of parliament for Samia Bugwe North constituency after scoring 17,747 votes, followed by Mr. Mulimba John, the incumbent NRM flag bearer minister, after scoring 16,185 votes. Others like Mama Vincent scored 910, Pate Gerard Auku scored 172, Okumu John Emrut 6,763, Mulaitis 1,115 votes, Deogracias Njoki 1,194 votes. As I speak now, the counting is still ongoing, and Madam Adlo is handling Samia Bugwe South, where we have 6 candidates, among which includes Mr. Oere Odero Godfrey, the incumbent, Maganda Julius Wandera, the former minister, East African Affairs, on NRM ticket, Ekesa Fred Achoka, Nup, Ngwabe Robert, Okumu Justus on FDC ticket. In the shortest period of time, we shall be letting you know who has won in Samia Bugwe South constituency. Looking at the security is very tight, and people at the municipality, that is Busia district, they are doing their work as normal. The other side of the constituency, that is Samia Bugwe North, where they have already declared, people are jubilating. Sando Martin, Busia, UBC.
And now that is our food soldier, Sando Martin, giving us the latest updates in Busia municipality. Now, let's cross over to another update.
All right, now away from Busia, we are into Bukedia, where David Bechem Okwere, the NRM flag bearer, has been declared as a winner with 68,103 votes, followed by the incumbent, John Bosco Ikojo, who got 10,458 votes. Okwere refuted the allegations that he was planted by the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Annette Among, to achieve her personal interests in the district. We have more.
Because one would begin wondering that my opponent, let me say, Honorable, the incumbent MP, he was a flag bearer for 2 terms. Those are 10 years. who was using him or who sent him at that time when he was enjoying the 10 years. Let him tell anyone. Must it be that when he loses this time, then another person becomes successful? He begins being sent by another person. So I think that's the wrong assumption. My winning as a flag bearer of the party was the will of the people. Because people actually lacked what they call quality service for the last 10 years. And they have been looking for a person who can actually wipe the tears that people have been mourning in Bukedia for the last 10 years. I can actually even tell you that even if you have a vehicle and you are having 4 tires, all the 4 tires are supposed to be running to help the vehicle move. In Bukedia for the last 10 years, it's only 2 tires which have been running. That is the tire of the Right Honorable Speaker, which has been running, and you can see the services which has provided in the Bukedia constituency. The second tire which has been running well is the one of Honorable Ishagi Opolot. If you go to Kachumbala, you see people appreciating the services these 2 people have provided. But when you come into the main seat of Bukedia constituency, even if you took a tour around, there are roads which have failed to be worked on. My question now definitely remains, what was the incumbent MP doing to supervise such works, although it was meant to be done by the local government under the leadership of the LOC 5. But there are also other things like quality services, like hospitals. They are quite daring. The other thing, of course, is the absence from people being in contact together with the community. There was nothing. I have never seen for the last 10 years when the incumbent MP is on order paper presenting issues affecting Bukedia in the last 10 years. It's not there. You'll actually find that he's ever talking that he's a chairman of national economy and is ever flying out borrowing money for the country. The issue is, what money has he borrowed which has benefited Bukedia as well? Because he's trying to ride on some of the projects which the president has established himself about the seed school. Seed school is a government policy which has spread countrywide.
Indeed, UBC, UG polls, we are coming to you live here at Broadcast House, and we are speaking to some of our political people that are in the field, giving us updates of what is happening in the field. Now we are joining Eddie Orwa, who is in Lira, giving us updates. Eddie Orwa. Yes. A very good afternoon. What is the latest update that side?
Good afternoon to you and all our viewers. I'm coming to you live from Lira City, the commercial and industrial city here, where we have just received the final results, final declaration for one of the most contested races here in the region. That is the contest between 2 prominent ministers. That is Gender Minister Beta Mongi and then the Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng. The returning officers just declared that Jane Ruth Acheng as the newly elected woman member of parliament for Lira City, retaining her seat. Honorable Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng obtained 38,074 votes. That is for the woman member of parliament position for Lira City. And then they were in the contest, only 2 of them, and then her counterpart, the gender minister from UPC party, secured 26,199 votes. That is the results that we have just got from Lira City center right now. What I can also confirm to you that is that there is a lot of excitement in the city. So many people are already lined up on the streets trying to wait for the minister herself, the winner, the victor of this highly contested race, to come around. I can hear some people dancing around the street, all kind of songs. What you can hear in the background is Kadodi song. So that means there is also a huge number of the Bagiso community living around in this city, and they have already come on street with their songs, and then they are playing high volume, trying to wait for her. If she will come around, and then they can wave at her, then they can cheer her up, then they can celebrate the victory together with her. It's been a very, very, very hot contest here. But finally, the Electoral Commission has given out the results, and now we know the winner. We can confirm positively that Dr. Jane Jeng has retained and secured as the current, as the woman member of parliament for Lira City. Dr. Jane Jeng was under the NRM ticket, and Gender Minister Betty Amoya Gena was under the UPC ticket. So I can see under the UPC ticket. So I can see a huge convoy of